My friends are making fun of me, but when stuff goes down, I got a spot to hide. After one of the shows in Idaho, a guy came up to me and he goes, hey, you want to take a tour of my bomb shelter? I'm like, that is a great opening line. I was like, I don't know if I'm allowed to say no. Technically, that's my job description, to do stupid stuff and then tell you about it later. Which, by the way, isn't a good way to live your life. Let me tell you, this story's gonna be hilarious if I live through it, you know? So he takes me to his house. I drove separately. I'm not an idiot, you know what I mean? I text like 3 friends on the way. Look, if I don't check in 20 minutes, it wasn't a bomb shelter. You know. I got to his house and it was a bomb shelter. Whew. I mean, I'm sure no one can hear me scream down there either, but there's like buckets of rice and gas masks and automatic weapons. So I was like, I think he's a prepper. Or he's into some stuff I don't want to know about, you know? So he starts off by like giving me a tour and he's like showing me all of his automatic weapons, which is making me nervous. I'm not a gun person. And I think he could tell I was nervous because he kept trying to tell me jokes to put me at ease. The problem is he wasn't good at jokes. He was like, I got a joke for you. If I tell the government I have 7 guns and Obama takes 7 of my guns, how many guns do I have left? I was like, I don't know, 0. He's like, 27? I was like, oh, I don't... You're not very funny. I'm just kidding, don't worry about it. The government knows about all my guns. Except for this one. I can't tell if you're joking anymore. He goes, don't worry about it, all my guns are for hunting. People? I'm like, I gotta go check in now. Did you take the serial numbers off or do they come that way? This is interesting. So we go upstairs and he pulls his prized possession off the wall. It's like an AK-47. And he goes, you want to hold it? But you have a gun, so you make the rules. So I'm holding this gun. He goes, hey man, next time you're in town, look me up. We'll go out to undisclosed location, start shooting some stuff. I was like, undisclosed location? I know where that is. That's where they find my body. That's when it hit me. Like, I'm holding this gun, he's talking about undisclosed location. I'm like, I think he's using me for my fingerprints right now. This is definitely what's happening. That's less of a joke, more of an alibi. I just need witnesses. I was here on this date. I feel bad making fun of him, because he might see this. Also, I don't want to make him sound crazy. Like, he's not crazy, he's just passionate. You ever meet somebody who knows too much about, stuff? They're no fun to be around. You get stuck in a conversation. We're running out of bees. You're like, oh, okay. This guy shouldn't be around people, He's not crazy. The missing teeth don't help. But in a surprising plot twist, I've actually kept in contact with the guy. You know what they say, keep your friends close and your friends with bomb shelters closer. My friends are making fun of me, but when stuff goes down, I got a spot to hide. He's actually a really nice guy. I was doing another show near him in his town, and I brought a friend with me, witnesses, and I met him, I introduced him to my friend, and my friend described him as the nicest scary guy he's ever met. I was like, that's perfect. He's a really cool guy, actually. It turns out he teaches women's self-defense classes during the day. That's like his day job. I'm not sure what he does at night. Probably scares women into taking self-defense classes. Not on purpose, he just smiles at them. Bees! He told me his new marketing plan is gonna get business cards with his website on them, and he's gonna go up to random women on the street and be like, if I can get this close, so can a bad guy. I was like, that's not gonna work for you. I'm not saying anything, but that's gonna be super effective for everyone else's self-defense class. I hope you like the taste of pepper, you know? He was giving me tips, unsolicited. He just goes, hey man, if you're ever in a fight, this is what you gotta do. You gotta yell no, stop, and don't as you're fighting, so everyone around you knows it was self-defense. I was like, I think they're gonna know. Right? He goes, doesn't matter, man, no one ever sees the start of a fight. I'm like, this is a creepy way to start a conversation. He goes, you walk into a bar, punch the biggest guy in the face. As soon as he starts fighting back, that's when you yell no, stop, and don't. That's when everyone in the bar is gonna turn. When the police come to investigate, you got 100 witnesses saying you were just defending yourself. I was like, it sounds like you've tested this a couple of times. You know? I'm like, I appreciate the sentiment, but if ever in an altercation that's serious enough for the police to investigate, they're not gonna have to. They'll just walk in and be like, oh, there's the victim right there. You can tell by the blood splatter pattern. See how it's not on the walls? It's just pooling in this one area. It looks like he just got hit and he crawled into a fetal position and just waited until help arrived. Like, thanks a lot, Dexter. We got in a Facebook argument the other day because he's a bigger fan of Donald Trump than I am. And I don't know what you believe. Personally, you could be 1% a fan. I'd be like, whoa, slow down a little bit. You know, I'm not. Let me just say this, by the way. I'm not a fan of any politics. I don't like people that try to convince you of stuff. Does that make sense? Like, the more someone tries to convince you of something, the less I believe them. Every time Wendy's has a commercial, like, we use 100% real chicken. I'm like, I thought you did. Now I'm not so sure. Why do you have to advertise 100% chicken? Never frozen. It is definitely frozen. I'm ordering it at 1 a.m. I hope you froze it. It's just been sitting there all day. I don't know. I'm not trying to start a fight. Just Trump seems a little unstable. He's gonna nuke somebody in like 3 more days, you know? But he's not even gonna nuke anybody that deserves it. He's gonna bomb Florida or whatever. You know what I mean? He's like, you talking smack about me on Twitter? Boom, you're dead. Which, yeah, you just did make America great again. Hey, Trump, Texas is talking smack. You should drop some bombs on them. I know we're getting all sensitive. It's just a joke. Don't worry about it. One time a lady yelled at me in the middle of the show. She said, you can't bomb Texas. That's where we make the school books. Sounds like 2 birds with 1 stone right there, I think. The fact that Texas makes the school books is exactly why Trump won. But it's just a joke. I'm sorry. It's okay. We can't bomb Texas. They make great calculators. Where else are you gonna get that, you know? This is Texas Instruments. I heard people whispering, it's a Texas Instruments joke. He's not funny, but he's very clever. So anyway, he's a bigger fan of Trump than I am, and he was posting some stuff, and I got a little mad, and I messaged him. I go, hey man, just because you're the only one prepared for the apocalypse doesn't mean you have to root for it. I thought that was a great point. And he goes, yes, it does. And I think he's right. If you have season tickets to the Yankees, you're gonna root for the Yankees. If you're in the casino, you're betting on black, you're rooting for black. All of his money's on black. He wants that to happen, right? Because if a bomb goes off and I'm the only one that survives, that's the end of humanity. Like, I can't boil water. I don't know. I don't have skills. I I live on a hill. If it snows, I'm screwed. I don't, A state of emergency for me is when McDonald's closes. That's it for me. That's when if a bomb goes off and he survives, he's the new king. That's the only way for him. And no offense to him, but when you buy a bomb shelter, you're kind of investing in bombs. And it's a weird thing to talk about, but thanks for sticking with me. It's good to be here. This is beautiful. I was performing in a living room a couple weeks ago, so this is much better. Someone saw me at a show and they thought I was very funny, so she hired me to perform at her son's graduation party in their living room. Dreams come true, yeah. It was amazing, only took me 30 years, finally got invited to a high school party, it was fantastic. It's wonderful to be here. I'm from Seattle, and I love Seattle. It's a very progressive city, and I'm a progressive person, but sometimes it gets a little too hippie. I saw a sign in a parking lot that's right up front next to the handicap spot, said reserved parking for hybrid vehicles only. I'm like, what a dumb... I get you're trying to save the world, but you're still making gas guzzlers drive even further to find a parking spot. But then I thought about it. I was like, you know what? If you own a Prius, you should be allowed to park up front, right? Because it's hard to walk across the parking lot with a stick up your butt, So that's pretty good. Thank you. I don't know if you're clapping because you think it's funny or you just agree with me. Full disclosure, I drive a Prius. I wasn't planning on fighting anybody. Another Seattle thing I'm tired of fake service dogs. Yeah, I said it. They've had a racket for too long. Look, if you're blind and you need your dog to call 911 after you fall down, that's amazing. That's great. That's what it's for. I mean, you get a life alert for way cheaper. You don't have to feed it. I'm talking about the people that don't have any friends, so they throw a vest on their dog and bring it to every restaurant. I'm lonely. Yeah. Me too. You know what I want? Emotional support parking spaces. How about that? I have a friend that has a service dog, but it's a Chihuahua. I'm like, I don't think that counts. She's like, no, it helps with my anxiety. I'm like, the dog shakes more than you do. I think your service dog needs a service dog. How does that work? Do you have two separate Xanax prescriptions or just one that you split? One for you, one for me. One for you, one for me. Ooh, they're wrapped in bacon. It's a Chihuahua. That's not a that's a purse dog. And that's okay if you want a purse dog. Just don't call it a service dog, right? It's a different... if a dog fits in your purse and its natural predator is a mosquito, I think that you're keeping it alive more than it's keeping you alive, right? If you need a service animal that fits in your purse, get a gun. Same thing, right? Dogs don't bite people, people bite people. Same thing. These are my service animals, Smith and Wesson, and whenever I'm feeling anxious, I just pull them out, start petting them. Really calms me down, yeah. Everyone I don't like just leaves the room, too. Super effective. I highly recommend it. I don't like guns very much. My dad just bought a gun, though, for the first time in his life. Yeah, it's a little scary. 65, that's when you want to get your first gun. That's when the mind is at its sharpest, He's like, I can hit all the targets at once. I'm like, there's one target. You have bad vision. You shouldn't. So he bought his first gun, and then he told me about it, and then immediately he goes, don't tell anybody. So don't tell anyone. I go, why don't you want me to tell anybody? He goes, element of surprise. Let me tell you a little bit about my dad. For his birthday in July, I got him a tracker for his keys because he's always losing his keys. And he just bought a gun. You know what I mean? Like a month before his birthday, I was trying to figure out what to get him. It's hard to shop for your parents. And then I heard a story where he went to go to work, he got in his car, and then he lost his keys that he just opened his car with. So he went back in the house and stole my mom's keys, and then he drove to work for an hour, drove home for an hour, and when he got home, he found his keys on the roof of his car the whole time. And he just bought a gun. You guys don't seem as worried as you should be. I think the element of surprise is gonna be when someone breaks into his house and he can't find his gun. Hang on 1 second, where did I put it? Hang on, I got a tracker for it. It's beeping, it's beeping. Oh, he's got the gun. What a surprise. I'm glad you guys are here. This is amazing. This is my dream. I mean, my dream didn't involve Provo, but you take some detours, and I'm just teasing you. I love meeting people after shows, most people. You know who you are. I don't know. But it's such a cool thing, because this is a job that, like, people come up to you after shows and like, man, I could never be a comedian. That's got to be the toughest job in the world. And this is all I'm capable of. You know? If this is number one, what's number two? You know what I mean? To me, number two is the guy who rolls those giant burritos at Chipotle. That looks impossible. Right? They mess it up half the time. That's why I always order the bowl. I don't want to make them feel bad. I think the toughest job would be a backup quarterback, right? That's super deep, because you gotta know everything that the starter knows, but you never get to use any of it. You just gotta sit there every game like, I could have done that. If only I would have gotten a chance. There's no other job like that, you know what I mean? You don't graduate from pilot school, you know, all excited, get to the plane on your first day, and you sit in the cockpit, and they go, don't touch anything for 15 years, right? That's what being a backup quarterback is like, except they hand you a check for like $1 million, right? So you're sitting there like, this is ridiculous. I should be playing in the... Wait, where do you want me to sit? Just over here? I can totally do this. Be a tough job, right? That's... Imagine backing up a guy like Brett Favre, never gets hurt for like 15 years, and then one day, you're just sitting there enjoying the game, and he breaks his leg, and they're like, you're in. Oh, okay. You forgot your helmet. Oh, yeah. Where did I put my helmet? I got a tracker for it. Hang on. Got the helmet. Okay, ready to go. You're on the other team. Oh, yeah. Forgot how this works. Okay, guys, what's the plan? You call the play. Oh, I don't know the play. That's blue 42. Okay, I'll just throw it to you. Oh, yeah, you're waiting on me. Start. Now? Begin. What's the word for the thing? I am so drunk right now. I did not plan on this. It's a tough job. You're living everyone's dream. You're in the NFL, you're a professional athlete, and you can't tell anybody, right? There's no pride in being a backup quarterback, right? Yeah, backup quarterback, just like my dad before me and his dad before him. Come from a long line of backup quarterbacks. Our family crest is a participation trophy. So, you can't tell it. Like, imagine trying to hit on a girl at a bar. They got SportsCenter on. Hey, did you watch the game last night? Yeah, me too. I'm gonna go talk to someone else. Anyway, wonderful to be here. I just got back from Europe, which was amazing. And except for, I had to fly on an airline called Ryanair. Some of you are familiar, yeah. It's amazing. If you don't know what Ryanair, it's a discount airline. And everything, it's like Europe's version of a worse Spirit Airlines, if that's possible, right? Some of you guys are like, we didn't know you could get worse than Spirit Airlines. So everything's super cheap. The flight is like 30 euro anywhere you want to go in Europe. But anything else you want is extra money. For example, if you want a water on the plane, that's like $5 extra. If you forget to print your boarding pass at home and you have to print it at the airport, they charge you $30. If the oxygen mask comes down during the flight, that's like $100. I know that's an exaggeration. They probably don't have oxygen masks, but they skip money as easy. They try to skip money anywhere possible. Like, they don't even have outlets for your plug for your phone to charge. They don't want you calling for help. And it's super crazy. My favorite part about flying with Ryanair is every time they land the plane, they play a jingle. And it goes, thanks for flying Ryanair. Last year, over 90% of our flights landed on time. Which is a weird announcement to play when your flight was delayed. You're like, they could have been on time. They're just being mean about it. I don't know. It's also weird that they would say that. I don't know if 90% is a good ratio or not, but I don't think you should announce that, right? Because you're basically saying 10% of our flights are delayed, right? 1 in 10 of our flights is delayed. Buy 9 flights, your 10th is delayed. This is the worst punch card ever. Imagine walking into Starbucks and every 10th coffee, they just throw it in your face, you know? And then they play a jingle like, hey, last year, over 90% of our coffee landed in your mouth or whatever. You're like, I don't think that's how this is supposed to work. It's also weird how they say it, right? Like, they say it over 90%. What is that supposed to mean, right? Do they think we're sitting there? I bet it's 95. They're just being super humble about it. Ryanair's quality people. If someone says over a number, it means that's the number, right? Like if you're on a dating website and a guy says, I'm over 3 feet tall. That doesn't mean 6. You know what I mean? It means 3.00000001. By the way, I looked it up. Last year, Ryanair was only on time for 84% of the flights. Which means if a guy tells you he's over 3 feet tall, he's actually 2.5. We had a crazy experience while we were on the plane, because my favorite thing about it is everywhere you go in Europe, it's just synonymous with bad service. Like, you tell people you flew Ryanair, and they go, why? And you're like, we're poor, we didn't know any better, I'm sorry. We were on a flight one time, and it was freezing cold. Like, I think they were blasting the air conditioning, or maybe they left a window open or something. And this, like, 8-year-old girl gets up from her seat, and she grabs the flight attendant. She goes, excuse me, can I get a blanket? And the flight attendant's like, oh, that's so cute. Do you know what this says? And the girl's all excited because she knows how to read. She's like, it says Ryanair. And the flight attendant says, there's your answer. And then walks off. That, full disclosure, I didn't see that happen. My friend told me that story, and I believe her. She would have filmed it, but her phone wouldn't charge. A crazy story is one time while we were out there, we were flying from London to Berlin, and we get to the airport at 7 in the morning, and we try to scan our ticket, and it's not letting us through. So we walk up to the counter, and we're like, hey, we're not getting through. And he goes, oh, well, you're on tomorrow's flight. And we go, I don't think so. And he goes, well, I think so. Well, shouldn't you know? He goes, well, my computers are down, so I can't really check it. This is all true. And I'm like, well, I have a computer right here that says I'm on today's flight. And he goes, yeah, well, it's probably because of the time change. And I go, well, that doesn't make sense. It's only an 8-hour difference. Wouldn't it be a flight 8 hours from now instead of 24? And he goes, yeah, that's probably a good point. In the middle of arguing, he's like, I got nothing, but you're screwed. See you later. So we're like, okay, are we on tomorrow's flight? He's like, we'll find out tomorrow. I was like, I don't know if you're joking. So we leave, and we go to a hotel. We check in, we book a hotel on our phone. The problem is it's 7 in the morning. If you know anything about checking into hotels, most of the time they don't even let you check in until like 1 p.m. So we're sitting there all miserable. We're like, oh man, we're gonna have to wait 6 hours in the lobby of this hotel. It's gonna be miserable. We'll just come up with like the worst sob story we can imagine. So we walk in to the hotel, and the woman behind the front desk has one arm. Which means any sympathy we were gonna get is out the window, you know what I mean? You can't walk up to a lady with one arm like, our flight got delayed. She's like, your flight got delayed? I swim in circles, you know what I mean? But this is all we had planned, so we have no idea what we're doing. We're like, our flight got delayed, and she doesn't care. We're like, we flew Ryanair, and she goes, oh gosh, I'm so sorry, here's your hotel room. That's how bad Ryanair is. The woman with one arm was like, your life is terrible. So, yeah, anyway, speaking of foreign countries, I was in Idaho recently, and, oh, snap! I didn't say good or bad, you just knew. The rest of Utah's got my back. Something pops off. I'm not saying it's... It's probably wonderful. I just don't... I'm joking, it's okay. Don't hurt me, you've got guns probably. I just don't... understand. I guess the thing, I don't understand camouflage as a fashion statement. Like, that's where you lose me, you know? Why do people wear camouflage when they're fishing? That doesn't make any sense to me. The fish can't see you, you're fine. Don't you throw shiny things into the water to get them to come? You guys are all with me? Yeah, we don't know. The ninth wonder of the world. So you're telling me a fish can't see a worm on a hook, but it's looking up at the boat like, nah, I know that guy. We've done this before. That wasn't a fish, that was the lady with one arm. Just kidding. One time in Walmart, I saw 2 camouflage lazy boys for $500. And there was 2 of them, which means they expect to sell one. Who buys a camouflage recliner? Oh, I mean, it matches the drapes, obviously. I think it's so your wife doesn't know you're watching the game, right? I just hide here. How did this TV get on? Did someone yell, make a sandwich? I think this place is haunted. I don't know. Anyway. What's weird is that I think I relate to him more than, like, regular people. Does that make sense? Like, people that are the opposite, people that are, like, too happy, that scares me. You ever, like, make a conversation with someone, like, hey, how's it going? They're like, better than fantastic, and you know it. I'm like, you're a serial killer. Stay away. What are you so happy about? I get suspicious whenever someone's nice to me. I was at Starbucks the other day, this guy in line in front of me bought my drink. I was like, what do you want? And he goes, nothing, man, just a random act of kindness. Now you can take that karma and pass it on to someone else. I go, oh, well, this is actually karma coming back to me. Right? Because I buy girls drinks all the time. And I don't get anything back for it. So I'm one step ahead of you. I have a lot of female friends because they put me there. And sometimes they'll ask me to walk to their car late at night, which is a scary thing, you know? Number one, that has to happen. Number two, don't you want to choose someone a little more masculine? That's not good. Now we're both victims. That's messed up. You just doubled the crime rate. Look at that. Maybe that's her plan. Some guy comes running after her. She just shoves me down so she can escape. He's the weak one. Get him. He's got soft hands, you know. I'm like, no, stop, don't. Now I have to get someone to walk me, to walk you to your car. And then you gotta drive me back. I love how there's just one woman laughing harder than I've dated a guy like you before. Very sad. You're nodding. That's scary. Don't you hate when you're self-deprecating and people are like, yeah, you nailed it. And you're like, I was trying to be funny, but that's pretty accurate, I guess? Okay. My parents are very concerned about my dating life because my brother's been married for 8 years. So now there's all this pressure. Whenever I visit my parents, they're like, it's your turn. Oh, when are you gonna bring a girl home? And I'm like, I don't know. They're like, well, we want to meet some of the girls that you meet. I'm like, no, you don't, you know. I think it's an age thing, because they were married when they were like 23 or whatever. I'm 32, it's not even close. But it's not fair, I don't have time. I'm touring the world professionally as a comedian. I got 2 fantasy football teams. There's a war on my Xbox. I got a lot of stuff going on. I can't be... That's the number one thing dating, too, as a comic is tough, because every time I'm on a date, girls are like, oh, I'm going to end up in one of your little jokes, aren't I? And I'm like, oh, I'm not telling anyone I know you. I think sometimes girls like the idea of being with a comedian more than actually dating one, right? Because everything's hilarious until it's about you. And then it's not as fun. All of a sudden, she's like, you're a jerk. And I'm like, well, you're a new 10 minutes. I was on a date with a girl one time. We were just joking around. She got super defensive. She's like, you better be nice to me. My dad has a black belt. And I was like, I don't care. My dad has a black friend. That's fine. That is way more dangerous. And he has a purple suit. So I don't know where that ranks. I want to settle down someday and have kids, but I just have commitment issues, you know? Like, I want to be a sperm donor first, you know? Just to see what they're capable of. And then, like, if they turn out to be athletes, oh yeah, let me make a bunch more. I didn't know that was in me, right? But if they turn out all messed up, it's great, because I can still blame her. Oh, she watered down my excellent genetics. Obviously. I don't know. Kids are weird. I used to live by a school, which was weird. I'm still allowed to live by a school. I don't want to get on. That's not why I moved. But it was weird because I would always see kids in the neighborhood, like walking home from school all by themselves. It's always like the loser kids with no friends. I just got sentimental because that used to be me, you know? I always want to go up to them like, hey, I'm you from the future. Go make some friends. This doesn't work out well for us. Just yelling at random kids on the sidewalk, drop that stupid stick, you're not a wizard, you know. He's like, those are my crutches, whatever. Part of the problem is, I think I got a late start on dating. I didn't have my first girlfriend until I was 21, so I was super naive, you know? Because even then, it wasn't a gold rush, you know? There wasn't a line outside the door. So, like, I was just very naive about it. Like, when I first started dating, like, I thought anytime a girl was nice to me, that meant she wanted to sleep with me. And it turns out some of them are just trying to sell me mall helicopters, you know? I want a girlfriend, you know, I would like a girlfriend just so I know what I look like before I leave the house, right? I mean, I have a mirror, I just don't know what to do with that information. Does that make sense? And I know I look nice, that's because a girl picked it out. Or maybe you don't think I look nice, I don't know what the reason was there. It's tough, it's a weird job to try and date. I'm gone all the time, we've already talked about this, but you know, even when I'm home, it's like this is all I do. I don't have a day job or friends. So where am I supposed to meet people? I don't have a library card. Sometimes girls approach you after shows. Just throw that out there. And, I was talking to a girl recently, things going really well, and then I found out she decided to date a different guy. Yeah, there wasn't even a rose ceremony. I was like, what is wrong? I just saw it on Facebook, and I was like, what? I thought I was close. You know? That's so weird. That's modern dating. People don't talk to each other. They don't say goodbye. They call it ghosting. Is that a thing out here? They just disappear. They're like, I was never here. I'm like, we're still in Starbucks, you know? So she started dating this other guy, which isn't a big deal. But then I found out the guy she's dating is a rapper and a drug dealer. And I get it. You want someone with a more stable income, you know? When girls don't want to date me, I don't get mad, especially if it's a better option, right? If you want to date a firefighter, I'll be like, hey, great choice. I get it. I wouldn't pick me either, you know? But a rapper, that's where I draw the line. He wasn't even a good rapper. That was my main problem. I looked him up. I was like, this is ridiculous. I'm a much better comedian than he is a rapper. But he's not in Provo, you know? Yeah, this could be us, but you playing. That's just gonna be the promo I send to her on a DVD. I don't know, I guess, I don't do drugs or sell them, so I'm a real bummer to be around. I think some girls just disqualify me because I'm kind of a scrawny, nerdy guy. Like, I don't have like a swipeable face. Does that make sense? For like the dating apps, everyone's like, get on Tinder, and I can't, and, you know, this isn't, no one ever looks at me and goes, that's what I want, you know? It takes lots of convincing. So, I don't know, screw her. Yeah, I don't do drugs. I don't smoke pot because I'm a comedian. I sleep till noon. I eat McDonald's every day. What is pot gonna do for me that I haven't mastered on my own at this point? Right? The other day I spent 40 minutes on the phone because I thought I got my car towed. Turns out I was in the wrong parking lot. So thanks a lot, pot. I don't need your help. I got idiot covered all by myself. I've experimented before. I don't think it's for me. You know, the first time I smoked pot, I was actually in the Boy Scouts. Yeah, I know that sounds like a made-up story, but in my defense, they didn't specify which trees to study. So I got my merit badge. Wrong one, it turns out. And I don't know, every time I smoke, I just turn into like a stereotypical stoner. I'm like, this music speaks to me, man, you know? This song is a metaphor for my life. Like, I always want girls to shake their Laffy Taffy, but they just won't, you know? It's a real specific reference, but for the 3% of you that got it, it was great. Those are the 3. Yeah, no, okay. Yeah, I don't need to do drugs because I'm an idiot by myself. One time, my car got stolen, and luckily the cops found it a couple days later, just a few blocks from where I parked it. Luckily, there was no damage, nothing was stolen from it, but the cops gave it back to me, and they go, we think a homeless guy took it and just lived in it for a couple days. I go, well, you can keep it. I go, how do you know a home, like, do you do CSI, blacklight, fingerprints? They're like, nah, there's just like a bunch of McDonald's and like gross clothes everywhere. It's probably a homeless guy. And I was like, oh yeah, homeless guy, totally. He left those in there. I think I just forgot where I parked my car and reported it stolen. It's a good move. Thanks for coming along on this ride. This was a lot of fun. If you like this show, track me down online. Any social media that you use, Facebook or Twitter or Adult Friend Finder, whatever service you subscribe to. My username is just Andrew J. Rivers on everything, and that's great because next time I'm in town, I'll let you know you come to another show. Yeah, and I post dumb stuff on Facebook. I'm great. You should check me out. But the other thing is, if you add me on Facebook, don't get mad if I like your stuff. Because people are always like, oh, you're Facebook stalking me. I'm like, that's what Facebook is for. We're friends on Facebook because I don't like you in real life. That's how it works, right? Also, you can't call it Facebook stalking if you accept my friend request. That's like seeing me in the bushes and inviting me in. That's your fault. There were warning signs. All right, you guys are amazing. My name is Andrew Rivers. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it.